All
Okay.
right.
Hi. Thank you for being there.
So welcome everybody to this session. I'm Carolina Sumailini. I'm the center director here in Buenos Aires. And this is Hernan. You go, Er.
Hi, I'm Hernan Guastaleñane, and I'm lead instructor for the high school summer abroad program. So if I'm not teaching you, I'm going to be working very closely with your teacher. And we're going to present to you the program as we run it in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So hopefully we'll see your faces over here next year.
And I'll just take a quick second too. My name is Daniel Velasquez. I'm here in the United States, based in Southern California. I do school presentations and help get students signed up to go on programs like this one to Buenos Aires. And I'm just here to answer any questions that you guys have about scholarships or applications or any of that kind of side of the programming.
And for whatever we do over here, once you arrive, then we are here to answer your questions. So we're going to start with a presentation about Buenos Aires and about the program. So there we are. Okay, so the idea today is that you meet us, you put a face to a destination, and that you connect with people that might be traveling with you next year. Okay. So this is the team. Carolina, like she said, is the center director. I'm the lead instructor for the high school summer abroad program. And Martina and Mariano are our staff, resident staff. And we will all welcome you in Buenos Aires when you arrive. One of our faces is going to be there at the airport to say hi. Okay, so we are very proud that Buenos Aires is a very multicultural city with different cultures and different identities. This is shown in our music, in our dances, in our art, in the way we speak, in the way we dress, in the way where we go out, what we do, what we drink, what we eat as well. So hopefully, if you come to Buenos Aires, you will get to see this mixture in the city and start decoding. At the beginning, everything is blurred, but then once you get into the culture and the city, then you start decoding all these different identities and cultures. If you want to step in, Carolina, we haven't rehearsed this, so just step in whenever you feel like it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here are some what we believe are the top reasons to come to Buenos Aires. We strongly believe that you should do this program somewhere. Of course, because it's an incredible experience. As you know, learning a language expands your brain, the physical one, as we know, but also your experience of the world, how you perceive yourself, how you perceive your own culture. You will learn a lot. It's a great experience just to travel abroad and go through a program like this. But these are the top reasons why we think you should come to Buenos Aires. So like I was saying, the culture is very diverse. This is reflected in the food. You will be able to eat whatever you like. Hopefully you'll eat local food more than anything, but you will get here all kind of foods. It's a big city, and there are people here from all over the world as well. There are many festivals, local holidays, a lot of museums, cultural centers. The architecture is very beautiful in Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires was very rich back in the 1900s. Actually, Argentina was the seventh economy in the world in the 1900s. And in 1910, we celebrated our centennial, 100 years of being independent from Spain. And there was a huge party. Many presidents from all over the world, kings, queens came, and the city kind of dressed up for it. And at that time, Paris and Madrid were kind of the center of the world. So much of the architecture of Buenos Aires reflects the fashion at the time. So it looks very Parisian in some places, and very Spanish in others, Italian in others. Of course, soccer. So you'll be coming here next year. Can you imagine being here the year after Argentina wins the World Cup? It's amazing. It's going to be amazing, just amazing. So you have to come. Other years are for other destinations. Next year it's for Argentina. Come on. Messi will likely be here, so you may get to see him. Tango, of course, our city dance. We're very proud of it. It's very difficult, though. Not every porteño is what we call ourselves, people who come from the port. So not every porteño dances tango at all, but many do, and it's a beautiful dance to look at. The music is very powerful, very moving. Landscape around the city. Also, we are by the river, the widest river in the world, so it looks like the sea, looks like a brown sea. When the Spaniards first arrived here, they call it the river with the color of a lion, because it has this earth in it. So it's something to look at. Of course, there's a lot of history here as well, and the chance for you to learn the language where it's spoken. So you test yourself every single day, which is a good thing. Some other highlights of the city: there are some traditional neighborhoods, also very modern ones. People dance on the streets a lot. You will see a lot of street art in all its forms: dancing, singing, playing instruments, lots of visual arts. People in general are very friendly, even though in other cities of the country they say that we are not that friendly, because it is a big city and people sometimes are in a hurry. But foreigners do say that they are surprised at how friendly people are here. Daniel agrees. He spent some time here in Argentina. So there are some neighborhoods with very narrow streets, very old-fashioned buildings, and others that are very, very modern, by the river as well. Much of Buenos Aires can be seen just walking around. It's fairly big, but there's a lot of diversity. You just walk and you can experience the city and absorb it. We do have the best ice cream in the world. The big Argentinian secret, everybody talks about our meat, which of course is the best in the world, and our soccer, which of course is the best in the world. Many other things that are the best in the world. But ice cream is the big Argentinian secret. You must come and try it and see for yourself if it really is the best in the world. I don't say it. National Geographic says it. So, and we believe it.
There's a flavor that I had in Argentina called Ferrer Rocher, or Bon Rocher, which I hadn't had here in the States. I had it for the first time down there, and the first time I had it, I was like, this is the best. This should be everywhere. Why don't we have this? And I ate like 10 gallons. So
Rocher. Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah,
it's good.
That's a trademark. And like Anya Taylor-Joy says, dulce de leche. There is the other ice cream flavor that is just the best. So what are you getting into? In a very few words, so our summer abroad program, like every summer abroad program that CAE runs, has 15 hours of classes a week, so every day, 3 hours. We have what we call community conversations, misión Ñ Comunidad, so that means that you go out to the community and practice what you learned in the class. We'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. We also have daily cultural activities and weekly excursions as well. And there is one trip which is longer, with staying overnight, 2 nights at a destination outside Buenos Aires. We can talk about that a little bit later. Well, we have a couple of options. There is also some free time for you to explore and have fun, go out with your host family, with your friends. And at the Hope family, they provide breakfast and dinner, and then we provide lunch at the site or around the site. Why we think you will love learning with us? CIE has a very, very modern methodology for teaching. We have excellent materials that are updated every year. We use only authentic materials, so that means that it's not material that's been developed for the class, but we'll use songs and scenes from movies and interviews and articles, blogs, etc. And that is really good because it helps you to deal with real language that you will need to live with if you travel or if you want to live in a Spanish-speaking country. Our teachers are very experienced. The lessons, the topics of the lessons are coordinated with the outings in the afternoon or on the weekends. We use communicative task-based classes. This means that there's a lot of speaking in the class, and also you have tasks that you need to solve. So we're challenging you, and you need to use the language to solve those tasks. There's also weekly projects. Every Friday you present some project. Sometimes it's what we call presentational skills. So you present something that you've been working on all week, or interpersonal presentation. So you and one of your classmates interact and present what you've been working together during the week. So like I was saying, Misión en Comunidad, every afternoon you go out there and use the language with locals. And this can be frightening. The first couple of days is like, what, really? Do I have to go talk to a stranger? What, in the middle of the streets? Where? Now we'll take you to places, especially at the beginning, it's a little bit more controlled. So we will go to either a shop, like this is one of the most beautiful bookshops in the world. Again, it's not me, it's National Geographic. Ateneo Grand Splendid. So we'll take you to a shop, we'll take you to a food court, to a cultural center, to a museum. And then as the time progresses, yes, we do expect you to be in a square and stop a stranger, ask for directions, ask for recommendations about what to see in the city, etc. This depends on your level, of course. We have 3 levels of proficiency. Elementary, we don't have beginners, so we don't run beginner courses in our program. It's elementary, intermediate, and advanced. Then also we have Misión en Familia. This is tasks that you need to fulfill while in the house. We have something called sobremesa, which apparently is a word that has no translation in any other languages, which is the talk that we have after dinner or during dinner. This is the time when the family gets together. We always eat together. This is a cultural, I know it's a cultural difference. So we always ask students to be at the table. Everybody eats together. Everybody talks about their day, and you have tasks that you need to, for example, ask the family about their favorite song, and maybe they can play it for you. Sometimes we ask you to share some family pictures, and they will show you their pictures, etc. This is Misión en Familia. Again, every day, Monday to Friday, you will have one. And also you have reflection journals where you can express what's happening to you. There's usually 3 entries per week. So you write about your experiences, what you feel, how you feel about it. And you have, like I said, answer to 3 prompts. Like I said, we have daily activities and excursions. This may be a tango lesson, some cooking lesson, take you to a cultural center to visit an iconic building. Maybe we'll have a presentation by a film director in the site. We explore a neighborhood of the city, etc. Or we take it to a fair, so we can explore the fair. On Sundays, for example, there are a lot of markets, so we can go to a market and explore it. It's really important that, for us, it's very important to find activities that are not purely touristic. We want activities that are culturally rich, where you can learn about what the locals do, what we do, what it means to have to share cultural experiences with locals, and of course we are there to guide you and help you out.
Yeah, with this I would like to add that we try all activities to be as active as possible. So we believe that learning comes from you doing things. So we always try to find ways in which you will be learning while you're doing and not just observing.
Exactly. It has been proven that learning happens better when you experience things, when you put things through your feeling, through your emotions, through your body. And of course, here you'll be experiencing the place and everything else. So families can be all type of families, yeah? So we have more traditional type families, but you may have families with two fathers, with two mothers, with just one mother. Sometimes there are children, sometimes there are adolescents in the house, sometimes there are pets. So families will come in all sizes. So it's really important to hear from you what you would like in your host for your host family, so that we can do good matchings because we have all sorts. Um, okay. This is a picture of our centers, one of our floors. We have 4 floors where we have 6 classrooms and then a lot of spaces for you to hang out. We have a really nice patio as well. It is the winter when you come, and it can be very cold, but still sunny, which is really nice. Our winters are cold but sunny. So yeah, bring warm clothing. It doesn't snow. It doesn't get below freezing. Maybe once or twice in the year, -1, -2, but it is cold. Okay, that's it.
So now we want to hear about your questions and everything that you find intriguing or you want to ask or worries you. Please feel free to ask. This is your space to do so. This is your moment.
Oh, this is mate, by the way. You will try this when you come. I won't say anymore. Cryptic. No questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Like, was it hard to learn like the money currency? Like, can you like describe more about that, the money currency?
Yes, I mean, it is a thing in Argentina. We have now, I think, about 12 different types of exchange rates. But no, actually, it's very beneficial for the US dollar. Very beneficial. And no, it's fairly simple. Now, luckily, last week, actually, we had a law passed on that your credit card, your debit cards, and your cash is worth exactly the same. So now all problems have been solved. Before that, yeah, there was a different exchange rate for debit cards, for credit cards, and for cash. But since last week, this has been solved. So it's okay now. You can change money here if you bring cash. We don't advise you to bring a lot of cash, but you can also send yourself money, or your parents can send you money from the US, and it arrives on the day. It's very easy to go and pick up. You pick up the pesos in an office. We have several offices. It's called Western Union, the service that it usually works. It's all around the world, and it was very well. Like I said, instantly, the moment somebody sends you money, they give you a code, and you go to the office with that code, and you get your cash. It's very simple.
Yeah, and besides, Elisa, everything is pretty much taken care of for you. So like we provide all the food, we provide the housing, we pay for the activities. So it will be only the money that you will use on your own free time, or if you want to go for coffee or an ice cream or buy some souvenirs. So the large amount of things are covered for you.
Could you talk more about the homestay and how you like match people to the families?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Dela. You guys will have to complete a housing survey, that's the name. And we always ask you to do it consciously and take your time to do it. Because if you do it in the rush and you don't really put your preferences in there, we're not going to take them into account. But once you do fill your housing survey, what we do is a match. We call it a match. So we look about like what are your interests and what you're looking for, and the families that we have available on site to provide the housing survey, the housing service for you guys. So in this, we all ask you to be a little bit flexible as well, because we don't always have the opportunity to do exactly as you guys wish. For instance, if everybody wants, sometimes we have like a young professional couple. We don't have many of those as housing options, because here usually that type of family don't have a spare room that they can host a student, but others do. So in terms of that, we do the best we can to match your interest with what we have available. Also, we have to keep in mind that these have, hopefully it will be walking distance to the center. So we have like to really like we have a short list of houses that are available. We do have plenty for you, but we don't have that very many, because distance to the site is one of our priorities for security reasons. And sometimes you can ask to be with somebody else from the program, and we will put you with somebody else from the program. It could be sharing a room, or it could be in separate rooms, depending on the demand and the offer as well. So is that answering your question, or you had something more specific in mind?
Yeah, that was really helpful.
All right, and then families function as a family. It's not that they just provide you with a room and food on the fridge, but then you will have breakfast with the family, you will have dinner with the family, you have these long talks after dinner with the family. If you don't want to have the talk with the family and don't make it very long, you can go to your room, that's no problem. All our families are very experienced in hosting high school students and university students, so they know like how to do it. They're really into this game, and they will know how to treat you.
Yeah, and just to comment from like the application side here in the States, I believe it's called, at least it was the last year, it's called the Home Away from Home. That was the name of the task. So you're, writing about what it is that you like, and that's something that you work with the staff here in the States before you leave, before you send that out to the Buenos Aires staff. You coordinate, communicate with us so that we can send them all of those wants, needs, and desires. And that's something that you do on your application. And it's something that you can tell us too if you have any additional information you want to provide or change. Some people say, I want to be with a dog, and then they change their mind. They say, I don't want to be with a dog. We have had that kind of thing happen a lot specifically. So we're here to help on this side, send the most complete information that we can over to the center staff so that you can be somewhere where you're feeling comfortable and you're feeling at home and you're feeling welcome.
Yeah, and do know that sometimes students seem to be very worried about the family they will be living with, but at the end is one of the highlights of the program. It always is one of the highlights of the program, even with students that don't feel very comfortable. Oh, I don't want to live with a family, I want to be living by myself or just with friends or whatever. When they leave the program, housing is really a highlight. They love feeling at home. They have a family that takes care of you. You will have a family that takes care of you. It's always like worried about you or trying to help out or giving you tips and giving you homemade meal also. It's always welcome. They will ask you for what you like, for food and everything. They're not, if you don't like something, you can always tell them, and so on.
Mhm.
So any other question about housing? Oh,
Yeah.
You will, yes?
Do you get to like meet the family before traveling?
I was just gonna tell you that you arrive on a Sunday. The program arrives on a Sunday, and then you come to the center. Usually, it's very early in the morning that the flights arrive from the US, and you come to the center. We have lunch together. We have some orientation, and then the families will come and pick you up from the center on the same Sunday. So on Sunday they'll come pick you up, and that first night is just for you to get to meet them. Usually they take you out, they show you the neighborhood, and it's and then from then on you will be with them. You said before traveling.
Before traveling, what we do, Elisa, is we will send you an email. Hopefully a few weeks in advance, we will send you an email with your host family information, and we will send your host family an email with your information so you guys can get in touch. Usually you put each other's on a WhatsApp or email or phone call. Also your parents might do that as well. We have host families that become really close with your parents and so on. So you will have that information available before getting here. And
Yeah,
you can look at Google.
Most of them are still in touch. They still correspond, and sometimes maybe someone will come and visit you in the States. That's one of the things we want to create, bridges. You know, we want to like put people together and create an opportunity maybe for someone from here to also go to your country, and so you can do something similar and show them your culture, your place.
What else, guys? What makes you anxious about coming here? Let's say if something does at all. Maybe nothing.
I know international service can be kind of spotty. Would you recommend getting like a SIM card or something still able to communicate back home?
We give you a local phone card if your card doesn't work. I know AT&T always works here. The others sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we give you a local SIM card.
Yeah. If you don't come with a plan, or if your phone doesn't, whatever happens, we will give you a SIM card. If something happens to your phone, we'll give you a phone. So everybody that leaves the site on the first day, they have to be with a working phone locally.
Yeah. Yes. We also there's Wi-Fi everywhere in Buenos Aires. Every bar, every restaurant, cultural center, museum, the city has a free Wi-Fi as well. So even on the streets, you're probably going to be using Wi-Fi more than anything. We use WhatsApp here a lot, and we create WhatsApp groups for the class. For sometimes if you are close together in a neighborhood, then you meet somewhere and then you walk to the center together. And so we create groups for in WhatsApp, and that's usually what we use as well. We don't pay much for plans. We rely more on Wi-Fi.
What else? So we touch on currency exchange, we touch on phones and communication, touch on housing. Academics, apparently everything is great. You met Hernan, who's in charge of this, so you know he'll do great.
Yes, you know, you have to complete a stamp test before you come. So you take a test so that we know your level. When you arrive on the first day, actually not on the Sunday, but on the Monday, there's no classes. We just have orientation. We talk a little bit about what we're going to do. You get to know the center, you get to know us, the teachers, and we also do an oral interview to make sure that the placing that you got from the test is the right one. We ask you to be very honest in that test because that will help us put you in the right level. Of course, also in the first few days, we can change you around. You know, if the teacher or yourself feel like you're in the wrong class, we can always talk about it and we can make changes up until the Friday of the first week. So we have plenty of time and chances to make sure that you're in the right level. Then on the Thursday of the last week, you take the same test again. And hopefully it's going to show how much you learned. So don't do very well on the first test.
Hi, Margaret. How are you? Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah,
So
we are
we
in
went
Buenos
over.
I'm
Yeah.
trying, I don't know why my video, oh wait, here we go. Hi,
Hi, Margaret. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
So we are doing questions now. If you have any question, we're going to send out I think Daniel is going to send out the recording, or we are sending out the recording for the first part of the presentation, and the questions we already answer. But if you have any questions, feel free. This is your time.
Okay, great. Sorry, I missed the first half or a big part of it. My son is interested in going, and he actually attended, I think, a CIE at school. So I just thought I'd hop on to here, but
It's okay. We will share the recording. This
okay,
is being
great.
recorded. So we'll share the recording with you.
Yeah, but then if you have any specific questions, please do ask. I'm Carolina, I'm the center director here in Buenos Aires, and this is Hernan. He's the lead instructor for all high school programs.
Okay, great.
And I'm Daniel Velasquez. I'm here doing presentations to students in the States. I'm based out of Southern California. I think I saw Della, you're unmuted for a second. Do you have a question earlier?
Yeah, I guess this one is more about the application process and less about, I guess, for the essays, for the scholarship forms, is there anything like specific you're looking for in terms of like the content or like how you want us to write them?
I would just say, you know, multiple passes, have someone proofread it, make sure that you're communicating your message effectively. It definitely has to do a lot with your why. Why do you want to go abroad? Why are you going to take advantage of this opportunity? Are you someone who's looking to, you know, step out of their comfort zone, to grow, to want to build bridges and communicate, like Hernan was saying earlier? So it's about that. It's not something that you really need to study for, right? It's supposed to be from the heart. But definitely multiple drafts is something that I think is pretty important. Getting outside parties to proofread it, proofreading your own work, just so that you're making sure that your message is well said, basically. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I have one suggestion, Dela, for the essays, is like, don't think there is a right or wrong answer. Like, don't like start writing thinking I should be saying this because the people that read it will like it. Just really make it from the heart, like Daniel said. Like, it has to be true to you. As much as you can do it true to yourself and true to what you wanna learn and get out of this program, the better your essay will be. Elisa, I don't know if you're talking to us or somebody else who's around you. So somebody just came in or step out? Christopher was already here. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm sure you went over the schedule for the day, and you know, I've looked at the what's on the internet, but is there downtime or free time, and is there ever any opportunity to like do sports with you know, other people in the community?
That is a great question. Oh, well, you go, Ed. No, you go.
A typical day is we have classes 9:30 to 12:30, 3 hours of classes. There's a break in the middle. Then we have lunch in the center or very close to the center. Then we have Misioneñe, which is we go somewhere and participants can practice what they learned in class. So we take them to a site, maybe a museum, a cultural center, food court, or a square, and make sure that they interact with locals and practice what they learned in the class. Then we have an outing, some kind of cultural outing. And usually that finishes by 6, 5:30, 6. I have bad news for you guys. We haven't planned to say this, Carolina, but I have bad news for you. You should know
Have to
this.
say it.
There is a curfew. We have a curfew. A time by which you have to be in your home. And if you are not, then we all start panicking because we think that you've gone missing, which is 8 p.m. On the first week. And then we see how you do. We see how well you know, of course, as you get to know the city a bit better and you're a bit more confident, we extend it a little bit more. And that's kind of the free time. So between 6 and 8, and the families help you out with some kind of extra activities, but they have to be in that window, that period of time.
Yeah, and also if I may add, sometimes we will go to visit a neighborhood. Let's say we go to La Boca or we go to Recoleta Cultural Center, and then when we get there, you will have about an hour to roam around, to be there with your friends and do that. And also during the weekends, they do have some free time. But Buenos Aires is a very, very big city, so we kind of want to know where they are and to stay within a certain area where, if anything, we can go and help out, or we can be available, or that pretty much. Like I was on a phone call with some parents this year during the program, and they asked me, oh, I thought my daughter will be able to roam around the city and get lost in the subway and the buses and lost in the city. I said, no, we don't want that. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. We want to set the right expectations. We don't want anybody to get lost in the city, because not even our children do that your age. Our children your age also have to be back at home at 8, at 9. We have to know where they are. They have to have a working phone. They have to respond to the messages all the time, just because we want to keep you safe and we want to know where you are at all the time as much as possible. But on a weekend, if you want to go play bowling with your friends, sure, go play bowling on your free weekend. If you want to go out and buy some souvenirs to a certain neighborhood, do go there. We give you advice and recommendations on where you can go and what neighborhoods you should not go to. So that's something we want to set the right expectations in that regards, because it's a lot better to say it up front that when you get here, you get the news that you have a curfew and you guys don't like it, or parents don't like it as well. Does that answer your question, Margaret?
It does. I guess maybe a more accurate question is, most of the activities are with the other students who are in the program. Is that right? Or do some of the homestays have other teens? I guess it just seems like it would be a great opportunity to really use, your language skills if you make friends with other teens who are from Argentina. And, I mean, I use sports as an example, but it could be that's what my son is into, but it could be whatever people are into. Being able to do that with other teens who are speaking Spanish is just such a great way to learn the language.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the first week, we have activities like, for example, there's a tandem activity where we invite students of English to come and we get them together. We have some snacks in the center, and they speak like 15 minutes in English, 15 minutes in Spanish, and then they change around, and then they change around again, and they swap groups. And that's a perfect time to meet locals. They always exchange, numbers and Instagrams and be reals now, I suppose. And then, yes, then they usually meet up on the weekend, and they invite them to, sports events, sometimes to, to eat out, and to have an ice cream, or, to go out. And that's perfect, because then we also, for us, it's better because we know that we're the local, and that's always safer. Because, thieves are always on the lookout for tourists. They are easier prey. So if they are with locals, then we encourage that. We also take them to a secondary school, to high school, to see what a high school is like in Buenos Aires. And again, they have another chance to meet locals. And we do that at the beginning, so that hopefully, if that's what they want, they can meet locals and go out with them and
yeah, we
do
work
that
with
exchange that you were talking about.
Yeah, we worked with one high school in the past, but we are trying to get another one on board. So you get to visit 2 different high schools, and then we have the language tandem. We don't have anything with sports at the time, but that's a great idea. One of the issues that we do have especially with session 1 sometimes, is during our winter vacation. So 2 weeks that the schools are not functioning. So it's like the week before the holidays, it's hard to get an activity. The 2 weeks they're on holiday, and then as soon as they get back, it's sometimes difficult. but that's something we still manage. The language tandem, we can do it anytime, but visiting the high school, it might be tricky, but we do try to have activities with locals as much as we can. And we're going to look into the sports. Now we have a little bit more time. This year, it was the first time we run the program after 2 years of not running the program. So a lot of things change, and we're getting back in the game, getting used to all this.
Yes, we're playing football now regularly.
Every week.
It is the year.
Yeah, where they play with locals, and we are thinking about doing this for high school as well. We're doing it for our college students, and we're thinking about ways of organizing some type of game or tournament, small tournament among students that we invite locals.
And we have activities that we do in the center where we say to them, if you want to invite any of the guys that you met in the high school or in the tandem, do invite them over, like games, afternoon, things like that. So hopefully they'll strengthen the bonds. Okay, I guess that's it. Well, we are here. If you need to ask anything, we'll write our emails. You'll share contacts, won't you, afterwards?
Daniel, do you share our contact information with them, or how does it
Well,
work?
everyone that registered will get a follow-up email with the recording and contact information. That'll be also coming from us here in the States, most likely HS Abroad is the email that you can expect it from. That's the one where you can reply with any questions here in the US. The staff here in the US will help assist you with any of the application process and forward any other communication that you would need to have with our center staff there in Buenos Aires. And yeah, I'll put that email down in the chat right now too, just so that you guys can have it. hsabroad@cie.org. That's the one for all questions, concerns, help, any part of the way. We're there and here to assist.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much for joining us today. And hopefully we'll see some of your faces around here next year. Buenos Aires is waiting for you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. My daughter is saying time to go to bed.
Leia.
Leia. Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, please do reach out. Feel free to ask. That's what we're here for. And we want to make sure you have all the information that you need before making decisions.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.